Welcome to Activations with JJ Special 222 Portal Ascension Message. In this episode, I will be discussing the themes of timeline merging, as well as the upcoming energies of inner temple exploration, embodied enlightenment, and increasing connections with our star mothers. Thank you for joining me on this 222 portal. I'm excited to get right into the episode. Greetings, beautiful souls. Such a pleasure to be here with you as always, co-creating. I know that you are not sitting right in front of me, but I truly feel that we are energetically connecting right now, and I hope you can feel the love that I have for you. And it's always so fun to connect and to tap in and to create these podcast episodes just for you. Although I do have to admit, I often learn as much as you do when I am bringing through these messages. I want to let you know that, when it rains, it pours. And today I actually felt drawn to not only create this Ascension message, but I also have a special 222 guided meditation with the Star Mothers that has been uploaded to my YouTube channel and to my podcast platform. So after you listen to this, go listen to that if you haven't already. And if you already have, go listen to it again. It's so incredible. I feel like there was just so much love pouring out of the light language that I channeled for that guided meditation. It really just soothed my soul, and I hope it does the same for you. However, this is not a guided meditation. This is one of my regular Ascension messages. If you are new to the channel, hello and welcome. I'm always glad to have more incredible soul family members be here to help me co-create this environment of 5D, this new earth, to think about and talk about and explore subjects that aren't just easily accessible anywhere. Definitely subjects we don't talk about in school. Today in particular, I'm going to talk about some themes that I mentioned earlier on during the February monthly energy update, and especially one of the themes of timeline merging. Many of you might know that I offered some special sessions during the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of February. So obviously, if I'm recording this, I am recording it on the 22nd, by the way, that I haven't done all of them yet, but I have done some, and some really interesting things have been coming through as I've done that timeline merging. Now, all of this timeline merging stuff was even a little bit mysterious to me. I've had people show up to the sessions and say, I'm not sure why I am doing this session, but I know I need to be here. And I will share with you, just like I have with some of the Akashic Record sessions and the Atlantean Past Life Regression sessions, I will take and recap some of the highlights of those sessions for you in an additional podcast episode later on this week. But I can tell you a few snippets of things that I'm learning. The first thing that I want to let you know about merging timelines in a general sense, the feeling that I'm getting about the benefits of merging timelines, and sometimes you hear about it as collapsing timelines. That's another word for it. So if you're doing it on an individual level, it really is pulling back and reclaiming some of the power that you have extended into potential or parallel timelines that may not play out to their fullness, and reining that energy in and merging it with your current timeline to help you kind of fill up your tank so that you can move forward with the maximum amount of power and creator energy in this timeline. It also has been shown to me that when you integrate these timelines, not only are you integrating parallel selves, you're integrating all the potentiality that existed in those timelines. So not even just things that happened in those timelines, but things that could have happened. So it's almost like taking all of these ideas that you've had floating around and these parallel lives that kind of sort of played out in an alternate reality, but maybe didn't come to fruition, bringing them into this one, reconfiguring everything. I actually had a session where I literally felt like after we merged it all, we had to completely reconfigure her body because it was trying to handle all the energy of it. And the Arcturians stepped in to help. They're always really good with that. But essentially, in a nutshell, that's what's happening. This timeline merging stuff, my friends, is pretty deep for even me. So I want to encourage you not to get overwhelmed by the concept of timeline merging. It does not have to be a rocket science. If you feel drawn to do this, like to be like, okay, I don't have a session with JJ because I only had so many, my friends. I wish I could do one with everybody. But you can do this on your own. That's my theme for 2023. You can do this. So sit down. I've got the timeline merging meditation that I've also put out, but you can also sit down and just play music. Imagine yourself pulling these timelines in and just use your intention. It doesn't have to be complicated. Something they've said to me over and over again. In fact, we just finished our 5D business activation workshop. And by the end of this week, so I would say about the 25th, 26th of February, we should have that course live on my website for you to get the playbacks of. But anyhow, in that, I channeled a message. Somebody asked a question and their guides were like, keep it simple. Stop making it complicated. Keep it simple. Stop making it complicated. And that's how I feel about so many things. So many things as we approach this time of really releasing a lot of spiritual programming. What does it take to become enlightened? What does it take to be ascended? It's simple. It's really, really easy. So that is one of the concepts that came through, this idea of bringing all the potential energy in from these timelines and integrating it into the one you're in now to propel you at a faster and more expanded rate, right? Because that's where we are. We're in a timeline where we are doing quantum leaps. So that's kind of my snippet about timeline merging. Now I want to tell you a funny story. Over the last couple of months, actually ever since like November, when I said, oh, one of the themes is mixing your magic and we should all be mixing our magic. We should be collaborating with other people. I definitely have felt that. I've been attracting and manifesting collaborations. And this particular season of my life is no exception. I ended up connecting with several different people over the last few months. And it just so happens that many of the offerings are occurring right around the same time. All of them launch in like end of March, mid-end of March, and beginning of April. And I went to my guides and I was like, okay, hang on. I don't know if I can do all this. This is a lot. Like they're all different. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit about them. But I was like, why am I being led to this? Okay, so it's got to be for a reason. I know I'm kind of that personality. I like to do a lot. I like to do things and really that's my style. But honestly, it was several things. So again, I'll detail what they are in a second. Then my guide said, you have to understand why we are asking you to simultaneously tap into all these energies, because you all know that when I do a course, not only are you receiving activations from me, I am receiving activations as I sit and lead the course. I really am. It's growing my personal journey and it's expanding me in lots of ways. So again, Spirit said, the energies you're going to be tapping into are complementary. Each one has a role in calibrating your vibration in a way that is fine-tuning you to be able to provide what you need to the other group. So I'm sure you're wondering now, like, what are these things? What are these things that JJ's doing? The first one is a collaboration I actually started last winter with my friend Amron from the Priestess Codes. So she co-authored a book called The Priestess Transmissions with her friend who is a channel. And then that book turned into a course, turned into what we call the Priestess Portal, where I was bringing through extremely powerful activations from many different goddesses. I worked with several of my friends in that over the winter, and we are about to begin our spring cohort. So for every group, there's always a theme, and it's different. Here are the themes that have been coming up for this offering. So we've got the Priestess of the Void, the Dark Feminine, the Inner Temple, and then Primordial Priestess energies. All of those things I know are going to be elements in this upcoming cohort. Now, it's all wrapped into several different gatherings where We are receiving not only activations from me, but there are other people who are co-creating this. It's an incredible journey, but it's very high vibrational. And I've really been calibrating my own self to bring that through. Other goddesses will come forward, and it's really an incredible way to expand and enhance your vibration by going inside, by going into yourself. So that inner temple, now pay attention to what I said about inner temple. A couple months ago, when I was in the middle of the other priestess portal, the December, the winter cohort, I had someone else reach out to me. And she said, I think we may have codes for each other. She was responding to my information about mixing our magic. And so I tapped in with spirit. I got a yes. I felt like this is a thing. So we ended up exchanging activations. And this person, her name is Anna. She's from Living from Divine. I'll have her information below. She is also facilitating very high vibrational containers with Divine Sophia energy, channeling a lot of those similar energies as the priestess portal. So I was like, okay, but why am I doing two that are similar? Well, it came to be that we have developed a different container for men and women to be led through anchoring and grounding and stepping into their creatrix and creator self as the embodiment of divinity on earth. So this is truly about embodying divinity by going very deep within yourself. In this container, which is again for men and women, there are also activations by Hathor, Isis, and Green Tara. We'll be working with 3 chakras in this one. There are actually future courses that we'll be putting out, but this one goes March through June of this year. All right, so you see the theme there. Inner temple, going within, going deeper, obviously going into the void. Another topic that's come through, and I drop these terms in because I feel like they are key words. They are important for you to hear. We will be working with the holy fires and the sacred waters of creation in this second container that I'm talking about, which is called Sacred Initiation Journey. All right. Again, if you're interested in the offering, the links are all below. One of the reasons I'm sharing all of these offerings with you is not just because I want to make one big long commercial about what JJ's doing. Honestly, I feel like they are reflective of energies coming up for the collective. And so whether or not you co-create with me in one of these containers, or you sit with these energies in your own way because you are an empowered sovereign being, it doesn't matter. It's really just connecting into what's coming through. So those are the first 2. Now, there are 2 more. One of them, and I'll go kind of in order of when they're being offered because I feel like it's all tied together. So I have a women's only container with the priestess portal. I have the container with the sacred initiation journey, which is for men and women. And then I also have a men's only container that I felt drawn to offer. This is just a workshop. It's not a, months long course. It's a workshop, but this is dipping our toes into the priest wizard archetype. And I feel like that is definitely a theme for this coming year. In fact, I talk about this in another podcast, and I've been waiting to do this. I am actually collaborating with Esteban, who has worked with me through light language mentorship. He's a very gifted light language channel, a Reiki master and sound healer, and he and I will be co-creating this container where I'm holding space representing the archetypes of Isis, the Lady of the Lake, and Pele. Those are the 3 energies that came through that I feel like I'm going to be tapping into. In addition to some of the other ones, Merlin, Ra, Thoth has been coming through, and King Atlas, and several Lemurian shaman kings, chiefs, have also been coming through. And I know Esteban will be channeling some of those energies. Now, listen carefully to what I said to you about the fact that I'm representing those 3 ages. This is now circling back into what I talked about in last week's Ascension message, where we are stepping into an age where we're merging the golden Lemuria, the golden Atlantis, and the golden Avalon. And now we're beginning to see all of this play out through the development of this offering that I've got. So we've got the inner temple, the grounded, the anchored. We're stepping now into a little bit more connections with interdimensionals maybe, which what's coming after that? My Star Mothers course, right? So speaking of Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon, in our Star Mothers course, it dropped in, and I already mentioned this last week, that we are also bringing through the Pleiadian, the Arcturian, and the Andromedan Star Mothers predominantly, although we will be working with many others. Not only that, but in the Star Mothers course, we're working with Melchizedek. We're working with a bunch of other energies and crystals. I mean, I'm collaborating with Queenie of Reiki and Flow, who I've collaborated with before for live events and for the 5D Business Activation Workshop, as well as a new friend, incredible light worker and channel, and her name is Katie Jane, and she's with the Instagram account And Crystals. And my friends, the amount of activations we've had in just preparing for the course, I can't even explain because it's been so powerful. That course actually starts in April and goes April, May, June. Now, I promised I was only going to talk about 4 offerings, but I have to talk about the last one, and that is my Lemurian Golden Age retreat, okay? This is the new Golden Age of Lemuria conference is really what it is, because we have invited several incredible light workers and channelers to co-create with us. Queenie and I are hosting it in Kauai in September. I feel like everything I am doing is calibrating me and leading up to that retreat. Not only that retreat, but future retreats where we'll be connecting not only with, so we're going to do Lemuria, and then I know we're going to be tapping into Atlantis, and I think that retreat will be happening in Egypt in 2025. You guys are getting a sneak peek of all this. And then I absolutely have no doubt we will be going to England and the UK for the Andromedan energies. They're definitely coming through as well. So again, why am I sharing all of this with you? Maybe you want to co-create with me in one of these offerings, but also maybe these topics and themes are coming up for you personally. It was so strange when I felt led to create this podcast episode for 222. I mean, last year was definitely a lot bigger because it was 222. I mean, we all know it was incredible. But this year, I'm like, what's going on? Well, I truly felt like we are jumping timelines so rapidly. It's like another new year today. I don't know if some of you out there have also felt that, but it feels like a new year. And if you can hear all those themes merging into one stage and age in my life, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am pulling in priestess lifetimes. I'm pulling in different lifetimes from Lemuria, Atlantis, Andromeda. That's what I'm doing. That's why I am led to do all these different things. And so it's incredible to see how we're being called to bring everything together somehow energetically and begin to put puzzle pieces together. So for this second New Year episode, which I kind of am calling it that because like I said, it feels like a fresh start again. Let's pick the theme of putting puzzle pieces together. Because, you know, the theme that I also brought through earlier of empowerment, the one that I talked about in the 2023 annual energy update, that theme is very important to being able to put a puzzle piece together. You can't put a puzzle piece together with another puzzle piece unless you feel empowered enough to try it and not doubt yourself and be like, well, I don't know if that goes, I don't want to even try. Like, I don't know if that fits here. So we are slowly being nudged here. It's like, okay, you're empowered now. Remember, you're powerful. You're reclaiming your power. What are you going to do with that? Oh, I'm going to start putting puzzle pieces together. I'm going to start unlocking doors. Keys are coming. Keys are coming in, my friends. That's a big one. Just sit with that. Your guides will show you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this 222 energy update. I just love saying 222. I'd like saying 222-22 better, but 222-23, that's okay. Thank you for allowing me to take a little time to chat with you and ramble about what's coming through for me at this time of the year. I want to make sure that you know I am sending you so much love, as always, and reminding you that I am you, and you are me, and we are we. Until next time.